Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. This is the Parks Commission meeting. It is Tuesday. We of course put out the agenda that we will follow, but we have added an agenda item that is not on here. So Jimmy can get in and out of here. We'll get to that first. But the first order of business, I suppose, is the approval of our minutes from last meeting, May 7th, 2024. Is there any motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
The next agenda item are a few administrative items. First and foremost, I just would like to thank Mike Wiley, Sarah Huber for all that they have done for this commission. Your community appreciates your service. The mayor and council appreciates your service, town staff as well. So I just wanted to, I know that we gave you a little something prior to the start of the meeting, but we do recognize the role that you have played on this for, I don't even know how many years. I know I'm relatively new too, but for many, many years. So your service is a large part of why our commission has been so successful and why we have grown over the years. So I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the town for all that you do. And please don't be strangers. We would love to have you at our events.
Questions about something past, feel free.
Thank you. We'll probably.
Right.
There's a lot going on in a good way. So please come join us.
We might show up and not even realize that this is what we do.
Clock's still set up.
So as of this meeting that you won't be, that's hard to even fathom.
It is. Our next scheduled meeting, well, we do have the national, we'll get to it, I suppose, but the National Night Out, of course, is at the beginning of August, and our next formal meeting will be September. I'm not entirely sure with the schedule of the way the board and commission vacancies are being filled. I don't know if we will have members by then. I hope so, because we are losing two. So we would have to have all three members present to have a formal meeting, if your roles are not filled by then.
So when will they start?
The deadline is July 19th for applications. So hopefully by then, but just in case. But with that said, Mr. Wiley has been the chair of our commission. Given that his term has expired, we do need to, I guess, as a group, discuss if there is anybody. I hate to do this without Patricia here, but we do need a new chair.
Yeah, if she's willing, as an outgoing one, I would like to, and it's up to her.
Oh.
Laura.
Thank you.
Would be the most senior member now. Because Patricia's got a lot on her plate, so I know she doesn't.
Okay. Is
I would be honored to be the chair.
Wonderful.
So, Mr. Wiley's motion, do we have a second, I suppose?
Second.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. So, congratulations.
Now, don't come and shoot me.
Yes, I know where to find you.
The only other thing that I wanted to just bring up to the group is we have been starting our meetings at 4:30. I know that's a bit of a difference from historically we've been starting at 5:30, but since the new year that has been the start time. Has that worked for everybody? Do you prefer, is 4:30 okay?
Yeah. Okay. I prefer it.
You do prefer it? Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't inconveniencing for an earlier start time. Okay, so I know we mentioned it, but the National Night Out is Tuesday, August. Hello.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Emily.
welcome.
Please forgive me. I just had another meeting. Peach meeting.
I have it right there.
Thank you so much.
Well, right before you walked in, as I'm sure you know, this is the last meeting for Mr. Wiley and Ms. Hooper. But Mr. Wiley did recommend, make a motion to appoint Ms. Stearns for the chair of the commission. So
Congratulations.
that is where we were when you came.
Oh,
So.
Have we voted and everything, or did we have? So then congratulations. I'm thrilled. I'm still so sad.
Very.
But it'll still be here, right? Except a lot up in Annapolis, more in Annapolis.
No, I'll be here. I'm around.
Probably busier than ever. Most times people say when they retire that they're busier
Yeah,
being
I have
retired
been,
than they are when
Okay.
they're working,
Yeah.
so.
How many times have you retired now?
But yes, that is where we were. But moving on to the National Night Out, one thing that of course, it's the same date, day of the month, I should say, every year, but this year it is going to be on Tuesday, August 6th, from 4 to 7 over at Henry Park. Our last meeting, we discussed putting together a new craft to have at the event. I did look into it quite a bit, and I know that the group was in favor of perhaps putting together a scavenger hunt type of a craft. I'm not quite sure if that is something that would be possible within our budget. So I wanted to propose perhaps doing a similar craft like we did for the spring celebration, but maybe just changing the plant or species. There's many options on Amazon, so if that is something that the group would like to do, I am more than happy to put them together. I just didn't want to order any supplies without, of course, bringing it to you for the final decision.
No, I think it's okay.
Those are so well received.
Yeah,
They were,
and it makes
yeah.
it so much simpler than what we used to go through. It's just-
And they were
Okay.
good for the environment.
Okay.
All the,
Is there a recommendation on the species that I should look for
Is
to
there
order?
something that they can put like in the closet that winters well? I don't know.
I would go for something that's, there's two ways you can go. You can grow a peanut. That's a fun thing to grow, which it's actually start off with cotton balls, and that's one way that they teach you, but you can put it in the soil. You can grow a green bean, which is fast. These are things that will grow fast, and the kids can see them grow, and that's why I like green beans. Those are vegetables, but they're fun. And I'm trying to think of some other kind of thing. Lettuces grow fast, and you can trim them, and you can eat them. So that's just watching, if you get like a mixed lettuce. Those are 3 suggestions. I don't know if there's anything else. that
All
you-
work in those compostable.
Let the soil come up, just scratch the top with, the seeds. Lettuce seeds are pretty good about just putting them in. If I was doing the bean or peanut, I'd stick it in the little hole where, usually there's a little hole where it's been mushed together, or just stick it in the middle and it should grow. I mean, we put 2 little soil things in there, is it just one? I don't know how big
I
they
think it
are.
was one soil pot. We did.
If it fills
We
the
can order
pot-
more.
If it fills the pot, that's all that's necessary. The kids will steal soil. We'll find soil in another house plant which has previously died. That's at my house.
Yeah. I mean, I can certainly look for whatever the group.
You decide if you want a flower
Those are
instead.
great.
It's the summer though, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the end of what I'm saying. A one more long-term project would be a bulb, like a narcissus bulb or something like that. But that's a little more expensive. Bulbs are more
I
expensive.
think short term is better
Yeah.
for the interest, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see it start to stick its head up in a week. Kids, you want the kids to be interested in it.
Yeah.
They might actually get beans out of it, who knows? But you decide which one you want to
Okay,
do.
I'll look to see, Amazon is typically pretty good with
You
buying
do?
big bulks of things like that. So I'll see which of those would fit into our budget. And order.
And if,
Are we thinking 150 crafts? I know we talked about it last time,
Yeah.
but the spring celebration, we ordered, I think, 120-ish.
It's not,
And we blew through,
Yeah.
but last year for spring celebration, for last National Night Out, I believe we did have 150, and we were truly giving them away at the end of the night, so it was almost too much.
there's so much given away.
Yeah.
But those were crafts and not a plant,
That's
which
right,
is,
you're right.
this will be a unique product and
Is the
more.
budget the same for the night out as it is for spring?
Yeah.
So,
Well, we could do,
Order the same.
125 or something, and when we go, they go, but that way we have more to spend on each one. Or-
that might be a good way to go, good
or
thinking.
100.
125, 130.
And I think if for some reason that stuff wasn't available, we'll just leave it up
That was
to.
kind of the.
Yeah. Okay.
If for some reason it's difficult obtaining them, it just, rather, it's not going to be another meeting anyway, just whatever you can come up, just a regular craft if we had to as a last resort.
Okay.
But I'm sure that, I imagine that stuff's there.
Yeah.
And then I'll send my daughter again.
Oh, wonderful.
That would be great, thank you.
She doesn't know.
But she's volunteering. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll look into that. I will do that this week, because I know we're kind of getting down to crunch time. And I will email the options that I come across that does come within the budget that we have for the craft, to you to see what you would approve, and then I'll go ahead and order whatever you think is best. But I will definitely have that by the end of the week for you. Okay, so that is a National Night Out. Cody, I am going to turn it over to you if that's okay.
Do you wanna do Jim
Oh,
first?
Jim, you want to?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess we can.
That would help.
Yes. Okay, so take it away.
All right. So, one of the initiatives at Public Works was to try to keep beautification going in the parks and all throughout town. And one of the areas I thought we were kind of lacking in was some flagpoles. And down there on Tripoli Street, right at the highway, and the thinking was, we really like to kind of, we had a flag pole and the street and the sign, the park sign, and so we were out, and in this year's budget, we actually had a line item for donations to create flagpole and areas of flagpoles. So this year, Jack Gillian
Oh,
has donated $7,500 to purchase two 30-foot flagpoles. And he would also like to have a plaque, which we'd have to get back with Jack a little more, to designate about the Commodore Stephen Decatur. And on this page, it expresses, I'm going to say how the park got its name from Stephen Decatur. So these flagpoles will be dedicated to the Commodore Stephen Decatur, and my thinking was right there on the corner of Tripoli and the highway, probably trying to repurpose the sign that we have, unless we get in there and we see that it's damaged or it's rotted and it wouldn't be able to be salvaged to be repurposed. Right now, it's just a tentative sketch of what I kind of had thinking of having, like, removing both of them, the old flagpole and the sign, creating like a 12-foot round pad, maybe repurposing the Stephen Decatur sign in the middle, and then having each pole at least like 8 foot apart. These poles will be capable of hanging like even by 6 by 8 flags. So you could actually have some big flags flying, like for July 4th and our military holidays and stuff that really represent the American flag flying. So what we're here to do is present it to you guys and say, can we get the park's blessing on starting to put the flagpoles in and work on getting this project started. And I don't take any questions.
I think it's wonderful. As a person who grew up having those be at the end of my lane forever,
Right.
It's really nice to see them. Now it's a lot of people's lane,
Yeah.
but it's really nice to have.
Great.
And how generous that he donated. He's
Yeah.
donating that.
Yeah.
And flags get your attention when you're, coming down 113.
Yeah, we'll probably even do a little tree trimming in there, clean that whole section up, and make it a nice presentation from the highway
Are
going
you,
north
are
and
you
south.
bringing the flags out from underneath where they're right now? It
Correct.
is, their
Yep.
trees are right.
Yep.
Right, so you're gonna bring it out to where the sign is now?
Correct.
Wonderful.
Some of that too, like, I was probably right beside the sign, would be in that general area. The only thing I have to check is setbacks with the state highway.
Right.
I know there is probably setbacks, so, but yes, the goal is to bring that, like, right beside that sign, and redevelop that whole sign. It's kind of overgrown and
Oh, yeah, it certainly is.
we're looking at putting some kind of a pad, and then we'll also have this plaque there.
Well, while we're doing that, keep in your mind, the the other memorial area that we have is deteriorating considerably.
Correct.
And, you know, just take a look and see how much it might cost to do that
Okay.
as well. And it's a wonderful opportunity for the horticultural committee to come in and do another beautiful display.
Yep.
So that's all terrific. I think it's wonderful.
It's, yeah, one goal, we're trying to all work together to bring more beautification to the parks, and some of the ideas, we have a lot of great ideas, some of it's funding and some of it's, and time.
Oh my
We
gosh.
also have other duties throughout the week as Public Works, and so, but we're getting the,
If I can just say, the improvements that you've made at Burbage Park with the horticultural committee and all of that wonderful work, all those trees and things, it's really, really beautiful. We have a lot to be proud of there. Thank you
and
for all of
to
that.
add real quick too, we are also getting 2 flags for the War Memorial. We're gonna take them flags down, them poles down, and so we're actually gonna be purchasing 4 30-foot flag poles. 2 will be at the War Memorial, 2 will be down.
I thought that's what these were, so
No,
I'm
this is-
pleasantly surprised. This is-
So we're getting 4 new flag poles
Wonderful.
in this area.
Oh, that's going to be wonderful.
And that'll also, the goal was, when you turn at Cheers and you start coming down, you're gonna see them flag poles. And we're gonna clean up them fingers that are, the trees that are kinda hanging, but as soon as you turn it, from Old Ocean City Boulevard, you're gonna see that, and it's gonna make that presentation of that American flag. They'll have trucks at the top, which will allow it to rotate around. So
Nice.
whichever way the wind's blowing, it should rotate, and, so.
So it won't get tangled. That's
So I guess-
2 of the entrances will have a big statement of the
Correct.
very nice,
Yep.
very nice.
I have one thing to bring up for the commission. When I was reading it, I think it's wonderful, the plaque, I totally love it. But I wanted to bring up where it says born Sinapatucket, Maryland. Stephen Cater was born in Berlin, in the town limits of Berlin. And if you Google it, it always comes up Sinapatucket. The general area was Sinapatucket. Now today, we say going down Sinapatucket.
Yeah.
It's, going down to Fair Liberty and all of that. On the historic marker on 113, it says, on a site near this plaque, and where he was born and the house that he was born in is actually in Decatur Farm. And I brought, I don't know if anyone's interested, I'll show you. I have a 1948 plat, what do you call it, surveyor's plat from Mr. Pitts, who did all of the survey, about Mr. Pitts, who did all the surveying around. And it actually has the exact location. So my question to the commission is, are we satisfied, or to the town, are we satisfied with putting Sinapatucket? Do we want to put near here, or,
Well, I'm happy you brought that up, because the commemorative program guidelines, if you will, that we included in the packet, the Parks Commission does have, I don't want to say authority, but they do have to give their blessing, if you will, with the verbiage that's concluded on the plaque.
Right.
So I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jenny, I do believe that what you see in the packet was submitted by Mr. Gillen.
Correct.
So
he
we
did a
would,
wonderful job. I just saw that one, and I always hear it, and it takes me back to one, I told my kids, but one time I was in Washington at Stephen Decatur House, and they announced that he was born in Philadelphia. I was like, no, he wasn't. So it's my little thing. I leave that
Well,
for discussion.
We can have, the plaque isn't made yet, so we can have discussions. Maybe Mr. Jack would, be open to having it.
Yeah.
Just explain it.
Maybe a little, that there's a little more history with that can be passed on, and I'm sure that everyone would be
Can I
rather,
take a picture of that?
Sure.
I know Jack.
and,
And
yeah,
he would
so,
be interested, well, he can't
sure.
see very well, but his granddaughter will definitely show him. If you just let me see where that is, and just we can show him the picture and
Yeah.
see if,
Here's where
because that's the
it
fact.
is.
We want
Okay.
It also shows where the memorial that is in the area that has, it's like a cement.
this drawing
monument.
is maintained where? Do you keep this, is this your private
It's my
drawing?
personal one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give it to the town someday. So,
No, and
it
maybe-
was my grandfather's.
Okay.
And it shows, what I started to say is, the
Oh, you just
original
did this.
memorial used to be in the field in back of our house.
Well, someone
And
just
it
told me
shows
they
that.
have something
Where's
like a
the
copying
plaque?
machine that is for blueprints and that type of stuff, so maybe that's something we could,
When
Oh, yes.
Pat Henry and I were looking at different things for the exhibit about the canning factory,
Mhm.
Oh,
I showed him this, and he put this on it. It was rolled up, and it was
Yeah.
getting lines in it and stuff. He said, let me just put something on it.
So the park is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where was the house?
This was all, which house? Stephen
Where-
Decatur's
yes,
right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
So it was.
That's our house.
It's just right across from
And that
the
was,
park.
this is where
So
the
basically-
police station is.
yeah.
You live right where,
It was in,
So there's
on
no-
my
like 30
property,
feet
yeah.
from where,
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
It was
Yeah, I think
there
that we
when my
definitely need to
parents
make
moved
that.
in.
Really? So interesting.
That's why we were
Was
always
this-
called Decatur Farm.
Was this
Mhm.
called, was this called Cinnapuxent then?
Generally the area, but actually Trap was closer.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was
Ed's,
gonna
my
ask.
brother's looking into it because we need an old map. But it's something that if you look it up, the internet has
Yeah.
claimed Cinnapuxent. Have you looked into that?
Yes.
Have you checked with the Taylor Museum?
No.
They
I just
some
got
maps.
this yesterday
Yeah.
when I
Yeah,
read
I thought
it. And I was like, oh my goodness.
This is wonderful. I'm sure that he will, we'll talk about it.
So is there a consensus on perhaps a formal recommendation that we can bring to Mr. Gillen as to what you would like it to read?
I would, was that Trap at that time, or wasn't really Berlin at all yet? So it would have been Trap.
I looked up the
Maryland.
dates. The year he was born was
Close.
11 years prior to what I found as the first date referencing the village of Berlin.
Right.
And so I don't know, they also talked about how Bay Street was, and Bay Street extended Assateague Road, was Cinnapuxent Road.
Mhm.
Maybe we could put Cinnapuxent, Maryland, later known as Berlin or
It's a
something.
lot of words.
Or, yeah, but somehow, I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of explains
formal
it.
Yeah,
then.
like
Because-
why would this
Because he was
copy
born
here
here
if-
before
if somebody doesn't know
it was
what
even a
he-
town.
If you say before it was a village.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
Cinnapuxent,
got that
and
much
then in
research.
parentheses, Berlin. I think that's, I think that's an
Yes.
adequate way to, without formally known
Yes.
as, but just Cinnapuxent,
Berlin.
Berlin.
Or near here.
Yeah, or across the street. Don't run across the highway.
I think the Berlin in parentheses is best too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cool.
Tourists won't know what Cinnapuxent is.
right.
Jim,
I
would
just
that be
think
something
anytime
that
we can get credit, and we have so much named after
just
Stephen
relate to
Decatur.
him, writing, like, should I draft the letter on behalf of the commission? and
Yeah, I
send
would
it to
draft a
you?
letter and
Okay.
then maybe forward it to Sarah so she could forward it to Jay. And
Okay,
then
just so it's.
we'll let it get back to
Sure.
Mr. Jack, and then, we'll go from there.
Okay. I will do
I'm so
that.
proud of them.
Okay.
Well, they're new
How happy we are
residents.
that you did make it generous to
Yeah.
It's my cousin Jack, well, Jack was married to my cousin, but Jackie and Kevin Ball our.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Good job, good job.
Okay, so that was the,
We always talk about the trees being planted along there too, and they, is that kind of just an ongoing?
It's been put on the back burner a little bit. I haven't heard much about that recently, but yeah, I remember we were talking about putting bald cypress kind of along that. But I mean, we can always adjust too. I mean, if we put this on that corner, we can always put the trees farther down.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
I
don't think it'll
I just
interfere.
think it would be great to have the trees while you're walking over the path, because
Yeah, I agree.
just to,
Yeah, that's something I'll do some asking about
Yeah.
too, and see what the status is.
and fall, you know,
Would be
It's a
good
good
time.
yeah, you know, so now we don't have to worry about it now, but maybe you
Yes.
can get it in. Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing set right now, but I can ask him through it and see what they
Are they going to completely, like, the flagpoles that are there now, that'll all be dug up and?
Yes, that would all be-
Okay, I just wanted to be recycled and some cement and recycling. Someone who needs fill.
so that was the agenda item that wasn't on the agenda. But we do have a bit of an update on the AEDs. I'll let Cody, I guess.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, Henry Park and the Visitor Center are both operational. They both have AEDs in them. They have a first aid kit in them, infant pads and adult pads. And the monitors are being heated, cooled, you know, video monitoring alarms. So they're fully operational. There's nothing really else that we need to do with them, besides maybe like the cell carrier thing that we were talking about. But Stephen Decatur Park was a the unit had needed some repairs to it. It was a demo unit that was given to us that was graciously donated to the town. And we've had to make some repairs on that. So there's an AED there with everything, with the first aid kit and all that. It's just some of the features aren't active right now. But there are AEDs in all 3 locations now available for public use.
Where exactly in Stephen Decatur?
Right as you would like walk back to go to the pavilion, it's right on your left.
Oh, okay.
There's a big sign there and everything. So I tried to pick the most visible
Yeah.
spot, and it also is close to existing electric. So
Right.
we
Just say, on top of them being
Henry Park is
visible.
up and running.
Yeah.
We need to ensure, because they are climate controlled, the monitor boxes, that they had electric service. So that was,
Great
the
job.
placement of it was just a little bit challenging for the crews, but.
Oh, yeah,
Right
yeah,
at the
sorry.
pavilion, you walk in.
I
Yeah,
saw
that's
that.
right.
I didn't know if that was part of this whole thing.
Yeah, it was one of the units that we got, but yeah, they're all available for public use. Hopefully not, but they're all
Yes.
available.
We're ready.
Question, you know, the Atlantic Hotel is the kind of the center of everything, and we have a lot of people in there, we have a lot of elderly people. Would there be any way that, like, my staff could get, like, just a brief training session on them, so?
Yeah, I mean, it's something.
Because they could,
Yeah, I
it's just a
understand
thought,
completely.
because I thought, you know, we do see a lot of,
I wonder if when they undo career paramedics.
Mm,
oh yeah, maybe I could just. go
I think
there.
that's a good idea.
But they're it's already up and running, the one in the Welcome
It
Center.
is, it's available
Yeah.
for, I mean.
So
the
that
foyer-
would be
It's right
the one
in,
that we
as soon as you
use.
open
You
that
have to
door. I
run
mean,
down and
it's-
grab
I saw it,
Yeah.
I saw it, but
Yeah.
I just didn't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
it was up and
Yes.
going yet.
Yeah.
So now that it is, maybe I'll just
Uh-huh.
contact the fire department. I mean, I just mean, like, I know they're easy because they've got directions.
Yeah, I understand.
But if we're running down there a block to grab it, it would be easier if,
Mhm.
Right.
because we do
I
get,
will say,
you know,
we just completed, not too long ago, we completed a first aid CPR AED training here. And the device itself, I mean, truly, once it's, from the moment it's turned on, talks you through
Oh, it
how
does
to
that.
use it. And
It's crazy.
even so much as continuing compressions while the
Mhm.
device is loading and that kind of thing. So, I mean, it really is.
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Training is always good. I'm by no means saying that training
Yeah,
is
but-
not
but
good,
it's-
the device is pretty incredible.
Well, you know what, half the thing is just getting the word out that it's there.
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
I've tried to put signage up everywhere that we put, like there's a sign on the outside of the Welcome Center now, that you can see from both sides of the street. It says
Wonderful.
AED.
And I'll put it on that page because At least if people know where it is, they can use it.
You know, it almost calls that we kind of need a town first aid day. You know, maybe that might be something that the parks could look into, having an event next year or at some point that would be like a community first aid day or some kind of, you know, let people know about the, you know, the resuscitation. Let people know about naloxone. Let people know about what tools we have available right here.
Do you think something,
I think the state of
Health
Maryland,
department.
they would be the ones that we would have to go
do
through.
you think, I'm trying to think of the resources that might be available, to have, I'm gonna call them a vendor because there's so much more than that, but
Oh,
having
yeah.
a vendor at the Glow Walk?
I think that's an
for
excellent
registration,
idea.
Just giving out resources and that kind of thing?
I think that's perfect. I think that's a great place to start.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't even have to do a whole big event. You're a genius.
We can, well, we can do something in the, this is a kind of a little bit of a busy time of the year, I'm sure everybody knows, for everybody. So if we could do something to start at the Glow Walk, then we can see in the
More
spring,
comprehensive.
yeah, do something maybe more formal depending on the feedback come the early part of the spring
And the-
before the event season kind of
And if
kicks
the
off.
town could have on their website, on the map, where the location of these devices are, I think that is, you know, because that's either, I don't know if you would want to do the town, the Chamber of Commerce, or what, but that's, if I was in the emergency, or if I wanted to find out what's going on in the town, oh, I'm going to be eating dinner right next to where they have the heart resuscitation machine.
Right, right.
That's why we
Okay.
pitched the hotel.
And I do want to mention too, I know Cody touched on it, but once, I'm gonna get my specific term, but once the cabinet that the AED is stored in is open, 911 is notified.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, so it's not when the AED is open, it's actually when the cabinet is open, so.
That someone who's having,
Like, that you can run with it for a block and it's still.
Well, there's actually, so what it is, the alarm, like Kate was saying, the alarm goes off when you open it up. There's actually a sensor that hooks on the AED that's like a quick detach thing, so when you pull it out, that also calls it, says that it's been, the AED's been removed from the cabinet too. Yeah, so it's got like a little sensor that, the purpose of the sensor is to make sure that the AED is still running and still okay. So that's what the box looks for. But yeah, it's pretty neat.
What if, just for getting the word out, if you had some kind of poster made symbol about just the AEDs and their location, to have it National Night Out? Not for people
that's a good idea.
not to distribute, but just to have at different booths.
Yeah.
They keep
A
seeing
little
it.
sign.
Well, that way, most of the people in town who have these, like, they'll use youth and family counseling and all the other places, they'll have that information, so that's a great idea.
And everybody will get to see the one at Henry Park too. I mean, it's right out
It's
there.
like a big sign.
Yeah.
Do a
Put
press
balloons
release.
around.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
not
That was
that's
actually
bad.
where I was going with it next.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned this at our last meeting, but the Berlin Lions Club, who did donate the funding
Yeah.
to make this possible,
Mhm.
preferred not to have not to be recognized formally during a mayor and council meeting. They wanted to do something a little bit more low-key. So now that we do have the AEDs almost up and running, we are going to be coordinating, I'm going to say an unveiling, but something along those lines with the Lions Club so they can be present and we can, do a little bit of a formal recognition in that way. So
Nice.
that will be something that we hope to coordinate by the end of this month. So before the National Night Out. which is-
Even then we
Yeah.
don't have to worry about the timing of the flyers. Perfect.
So that is underway. They're going to get back to us with their availability, and then we'll work around their schedules. But it will not be a mayor and council meeting. It will be something probably at one of maybe the visitor center or a park where one of the AEDs are, just a little bit of a photo shoot, if you want to call it that. But that's the plan.
Great.
So, and we did put, I don't know if you've seen any of them, but we did put a plaque, or Cody and his crews put a plaque that says that the AED was donated by the Lions Club. So they are permanently, formally recognized
Yeah.
there too. So
Yeah, they just don't seem to want to really toot their horn too loud.
No,
They're very-
yeah. It's an incredible thing that they did, so we want to
Yeah.
make sure that
told me, yeah.
We get a picture at least.
Oh.
So,
We know the
but yeah,
truth.
yeah.
And you know the truth.
Yeah, we've talked about it a few times now, but, so yeah, Cody in the Public Works has really been working hard to get them. It's been challenging because it was a new project for us, but they've been working hard to make it possible too, so I don't want that part of it to go
Yeah.
unnoticed.
So
Believe me,
Wow.
to get to meet somebody, which I have, that we brought back with me,
Wow.
is a very good feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 3 months after this man was laying on his living room floor, the post office was next to the firehouse, we saw him going in, we ran out and talked to him about it and everything, so, yeah.
It's incredible. And, you know, in our training, I truly didn't realize how smart the machines are.
Yeah.
Because even if you think that a person may be in some kind of cardiac arrest, once you put the pads on, it detects whether or not they in fact do need that.
Right.
So you won't
Overshot.
you won't overshot or inadvertently shock
Yeah.
somebody that doesn't need it. So it really is an incredible device.
So you can really feel confident when you're
Yeah.
using this and
Yes.
safe.
Yes.
That is just wonderful.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So, but yes,
We could put a video.
They're almost
on
there.
Too. Maybe
Yeah.
they could put a video on the.
I'm sure like the Red Cross or
The
something.
Red Cross
has it.
must have a video
Yeah,
that they would.
I would imagine.
Yeah, but just, you know, as we're gonna be the safest town in Maryland.
Yeah. But yes, we're almost there. So as Cody said, Henry Park and Visitor Center are good to go. We're just still tweaking.
And it
Almost
Steve
there.
Decatur Parks, some of the features aren't online, but there's still an AED there in case something.
It's still
It's, yeah, it's still able to be used, it just, yeah, some of the features in the box aren't working, but we'll fix it.
Thank you.
Almost there.
Thank you, thank you.
So that's it. That's the agenda list. Is there any other comments, questions, concerns that you want to bring up?
Just out of curiosity, the new development that's going in behind the pond area at Stephen Decatur Park, how will that affect the pond area? Will there still be a barrier in between of like some of those trees, or will that be?
I will say that the new development has not been approved.
Okay.
It was just proposed
Okay.
to the planning commission to get a feel on the concept site plan. So nothing is quite underway there just yet.
Is that the land that is adjacent to 113 on
Mhm.
the
Yes.
north side?
It is.
Has it been purchased already by the?
Well, they still, it's the original owners, they're just
Oh, okay.
proposing a new use,
Oh, okay.
a use for the property.
Okay.
But they did propose a development there at the last planning commission meeting, and I do believe the plan. So nothing was formally approved.
Yeah, I think it's inappropriately placed, is my opinion, but that's just, you know, the amount of the density of it. But that's not my judgment to make. But all of those trees do belong to that property, and
They do?
I'm sure
Yeah.
that, yeah. Well, yes, because we couldn't work on their wisteria, because it's there.
That's what I was wondering, how much of that,
All of
that'll
that.
be a shame, because that's such a nice, peaceful place.
Well, that just means that we have to put some cypress trees in, and, you know,
Yeah, we
and
can- the
clear
land-
out. Now,
Yeah.
the question is, are they going to clear out that wisteria? That's the.
When they came and proposed their concept plan to the planning commission, it didn't quite get that far.
Yeah.
But they were asked to make changes to what was proposed.
Well,
There was no
now,
formal approval.
since do they have to worry, I mean, that is a constant flowing piece of water.
Mhm.
Is that some kind of, I mean, it used to be that you had to be careful about what you put next to little pieces of water. So I assume that all of those rules apply, because all this goes directly into Trap Creek.
Yeah.
So that's if we have anything to say about it, that's the only thing, and that's what every citizen should be concerned about.
Of course. Yeah. So I would, should anything move forward with that project, they would have to go before the planning commission again.
Good.
Yeah.
I just one thing.
Sure.
I been tasked by a neighbor on my street to bring up something. So on Decatur Street, and I don't know if this is true or not, but she said there's a lot on Decatur Street that's owned by the town. And the purpose of the town owning the lot was to put a sign for Decatur Park on the lot. But there is no sign for the park on the lot. And the lot's been cleared, or getting cleared by another neighbor. But not sure, doesn't look like the town is clearing it. So I'm just not sure what on Decatur Street, there's a,
That's on the other side of the highway?
It's parallel, it's right in front of.
so there's a
Decatur
house
Farm.
and then a
We're supposed
lot,
to
and
have a sign
then
for
the
the
rest
park.
of the houses and that lot that is vacant is, from what I understand, supposed to house a sign for Decatur Park. And it's owned by the town.
We don't maintain that lot at all. That's the first I'm hearing of it. It doesn't mean it's not true. It's just, it's,
Yeah, like I said, I didn't
We can
look
look
this
in-
up
yeah.
at all.
Sure.
Oh, it's like an
Is it near
easement.
the historic marker on
So
that
there-
end, or is it in the middle of that lot?
Like,
that's
I did
been-
not look this up. This is just what I have
Yeah.
Okay,
been
there
told,
is-
but there is the historic marker and then there's
There's
a
a
lot.
lot, yep.
And I believe it's that lot.
Yeah.
So you're not sure if the town owns
We
that?
don't maintain it. I mean, we maintain everything is farther down, but I haven't heard anything about us owning that. I mean, I can check in with, planning and
Just
zoning.
Well,
a sign
waiting for a
telling
sign.
people about the park where it is.
I don't, yeah, that's all
I've never
I've,
heard of that.
yeah.
Interesting. So, somebody is cleaning that, is clearing it out?
But I don't know. I don't, like I said, I didn't look it up.
Oh,
I don't know.
I
who
mean, so
owns-
they're
they
taking it
may-
upon themselves to mow it, is what
They
you're
may,
saying?
and they may own it. I didn't know if anybody had heard that before in their
Don't let them do it for 25 years.
Is that the just started. So, no, I mean, they may own it, and this could be all, I mean,
And it could be a lot of
There-
easement
there
things,
could-
too, which
exactly,
we don't, because
exactly.
there's,
And it could be, the town may own, just a little setback that's.
Yeah.
for a little
it could be the
sign.
highway as well, that,
Right,
that,
right.
but because they own, they.
But if you're, the piece that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. And yeah, I'll who owns what and everything tomorrow.
But I mean, if the park should have a sign, then.
I mean, if we own it, then, yeah, I don't understand, like, it's across the road, so I
I
don't
wonder if
understand.
it's something that
Sign was gonna be
the,
like a brown
HOA
sign parked at that
sign.
time. But
I don't know what the purpose would be. It all
Maybe.
kind of
State
predates
park.
my time and
Is-
we've
is
been
there-
around
is there-
for
Could I
4 years.
kindly ask that you ask the person who brought it to you to contact us, so we can just get more information as to what their understanding was about the property? That would be helpful, I think.
Yeah, it's
But
like-
I mean, we'll certainly look into
Yeah.
it based on.
Yeah, I
what
don't
we
know
talked
how they
about.
got that.
remember, is each of those houses, or those little lots were sold,
Mhm.
and surprised, because it used to just be woods there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seems
Yeah.
funny that one smack dab in the middle
Right.
would be for the
Yeah.
town.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, I don't have a clue.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't do any searching.
Look
Well,
into
it's-
it and see what happens.
Yeah.
People see an empty lot and, you just don't know, is it easement, is it, no-go zone? Sinkhole.
Jeez, yeah.
First, we'll
Yeah,
consider whether
so-
the town does in fact own that piece of property, and then
Yeah.
we'll, if you could just ask.
Yeah.
We'll just get more info as to what type of sign you think.
Oh.
No.
All
Yeah,
the
well-
hidden treasure.
Anything else?
Just, you want to say something first at our last meeting, or just, I want to thank Kate for the support, and since she took over, and it's been a pleasure working with her. Before that, Mary, and Public Works has been great to work with the whole time anytime we needed something, so it's been a very enjoyable time, but I feel it's time to move on. And not facing us with the skate park and all that, it's going to be a lot of time and energy, so ready to hand over the reins.
Speaking of, Mr. Week did say that he's hoping to have an update to bring to the Parks Commission at our meeting in September. So if you want to come back and update, please do. But, yeah.
I want to second what Mike said. Everybody has just been wonderful to work with. You moved in seamlessly
Yes,
from Mary.
definitely.
Unbelievable how you
I had a good
just
teacher.
came right in and
Yeah.
have picked up guiding this group of well-intentioned folks that have lots of ideas and not necessarily know how to get it to happen, but we've had great leaders.
You will be sorely missed, both of you.
Thank you.
We'll miss
Way
here.
around,
I
so.
will, yeah.
Answer
It's
any
funny.
questions.
Yeah, something tells me.
I was appointed by Mayor Tom, he passed away right after he called me up, and like a week later, he passed away, so I've actually served under 3 mayors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me see, I have Haley, Cardinale.
I was,
You two have
I've been here since Haley.
yeah, right.
You-
Since Stephen Decatur.
Were you here when Pam was in charge?
No, I think she left and I came
Okay.
in.
So
But
I
was
started
here when
when
Kathy
Pam
was here.
running was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that was, you were the first round, weren't you? Or, I don't know, it was, how
First-
long had the Parks Commission been going on? Wasn't that?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was, I don't know how long
Well,
I
I'm so
did
glad
it.
that you participated.
Yeah.
It's
It was, I honestly did it out of wanting to do something back for the town. I really did. It was fun. My dad had just passed and I was like, oh, our family's done all this. I want to do something. And it's been my pleasure. So thank you.
Well, you had that family connection too to the parks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to Henry Park.
Both of them, yeah.
Yes.
Both of them. They were just,
And that's what kind of, to me, was nice too about having you on the commission because,
yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like this is so neat to bring.
It is neat.
Yeah, y'all can look at it. I should get one copy to bring to the parks. 'Cause, yeah, it's cool.
That would be a wonderful, and, the museum would always like to have a copy of that
Yeah.
kind of thing too. We keep a lot of that stuff. We're very good on archives now.
Yeah.
We got some real good. It's amazing what's happened at the museum, so.
Yeah. It's interesting what was deeded and how the
Yeah.
water
I'm
plant,
fascinated
sewer
by
plant,
that.
or all
Yeah.
that. I'm just in awe of my grandfather's generosity.
So this was 1948, no, 18.
No, 19.
1948. Okay, I was going to say, he's got a
That
little
would
loop at the
make me-
bottom.
that would make me-
I was going to say, when did they do that? No, I didn't, I had no idea, it said there's a little loop at the bottom there. No, but 1948. And look at that beautiful signature. Boy, they really knew how to write back then. Well, I'm sorry, I'm
Okay.
chatting along.
Yeah, we probably ought to stop the meeting. We're just.
But do I have a motion to adjourn? No.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
both
the
very, very much.
flowers.
Thank you for
Oh my gosh,
flowers,
they're
yeah.
so pretty. Did you see?
Aren't
Put
you?
them down.